All right, welcome back. Jonathan Lyamgohn is a Nigerian broadcast journalist and media owner who has covered the whole spectrum from being a reporter, radio DJ, media sales executive, technical practitioner and owner, just to name a few. Now, he's currently here in South Africa, he's visiting the country, and we use this opportunity to chat to him about a continental and media issues, particularly, I think, the issue of xenophobia. It's good to have you, Jonathan. Thank you very much for being with us here. Yeah, thank you. What brings you here? Why are you here in South Africa?
Probably you may want to describe it as a pilgrimage of sorts. Just a journalist coming around, seeing how it is done here, how it is being practiced here, to compare notes, say for best practices purposes, and to see what aspects exist that we can adopt or learn from, and to share also maybe opportunities that do exist on our side that colleagues here can probably look into.
All right. Is it a good time to be in South Africa? I mean, especially as to, what's been happening on the front of xenophobia?
I'd say as a journalist, there's almost never a bad time to be anywhere. At whatever time you find yourself in a place, there's always news to tell. For South Africa, I'd say, I mean, just like almost anyone, I'll join to say it is an unfortunate incident happening. But I am glad that I'm here because I get to see the fact that, one, it is not representative of the generality of what South Africa and South Africans stand for.
Yeah.
And it's also given me a further insight into the fact that whenever news breaks, there's always that news that isn't being told, which sometimes may be the bigger news or maybe the news that really should be told. One of the things I've seen in my time here is the fact that, first off, I haven't seen any sign of any of this situation because it's not been anywhere close to all of the places I've been moving around, and I've moved around quite a lot of places. But again, nobody gets to see that side of it.
Yeah. So basically what's being reported to the rest of Africa and to the world is the incidences of xenophobia. And so what I'm understanding from you is it's good to be in the country and you actually are getting a sense of that the majority of the population are absolutely appalled by this.
Certainly. I mean, a lot of my friends, I can literally see how embarrassed they feel about this. And but again, look, quite frankly, there isn't any place that doesn't have its own strife in one way or the other. What I always say is I always look at the cup as being half full. Whenever a situation like this pops out, it's an opportunity to sort something that could end up being worse if it's not sorted. So it's never too late. You might have lost a couple of steps, but it's still never too late.
Yeah, I'm going to just ask you more questions about this because it's lovely having you here and just getting a perspective of what is happening in Nigeria. So you are here, you are seeing it firsthand. However, it is very difficult not to react to the images that are coming out of South Africa. So what is the reaction in Nigeria? I mean, we're hearing from most of the continent, they feel that not enough is being done, even though it is the top of our agenda. I mean, we're seeing the president also sending ministerial delegations everywhere around Africa to calm the nerves, to say everything's being done. What is the image of South Africa in Nigeria currently?
I mean, of course, Nigeria, South Africa, we have one of the most amazing relationships. It's a potpourri of sorts. Sometimes we love each other. Sometimes it's a little heated. I'd say because of the lack of complete picture, the reaction it started out not being favorable. I mean, I had friends, family calling me, "Are you sure you're safe? You need to get out of that place." And I was always laughing because I'm like, oh no, it's not what you're saying. From an official perspective, it got on to the Nigerian parliament. Someone even moved a motion for the severance of ties between both countries. I mean, I thought that was extreme. However, it's to show you how far this can go. However, I think on the whole, Nigerians never ignore anything that comes out of South Africa or that is about South Africans. So that might have also heightened where you place it. So the picture didn't start out being good, but I think gradually more and more things are developing. More and more people are getting to see that, oh, this isn't exactly what it is.
Yeah, it just shows you, I mean, getting to the level of parliament and wanting to break ties, from this group of thugs, really. It's difficult to call them anything else at this point.
But also, one of the issues is Africa is underreported by Africans.
That's
I mean,
it.
you won't believe it, but most of the reporting that comes out of South Africa about the xenophobic attacks would come from big networks outside of Africa.
Yeah.
And I mean, imagine how big the relationship between South Africa and Nigeria is, but the number of correspondents from Nigeria who are based in South Africa is so little. The number of correspondents from South Africa who are in Nigeria is so little. So we underreport ourselves, and that's why when things like this happen, the perspectives are very narrow.
Yeah. So you're here and you're wanting to partner with South Africa. In what means? How would you like to partner with a country?
I mean, there are quite a lot of opportunities. First off, there are a lot of stories that we need to tell about both countries, about business opportunities that exist. I see a window for capacity building in terms of the Nigerian media landscape, especially the private broadcast media landscape, is relatively young. It's largely about 20 years old. That's still very young. So there's great opportunity for a lot of things to be done in terms of investment. It is an underinvested sector. And South Africa's approach to business is very competitive. It is global in standards. So, I mean, you can just imagine taking advantage of all of these opportunities that exist. And for me, that's one of the things I'm looking out for, to see how we can eventually build a powerhouse of broadcasting in Africa, because there's really none yet.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think you're touching on a very, very interesting subject, because I think the same goes for our interpretation of what was happening during the elections in Nigeria.
Great.
Even though I know as the SABC we had a team there reporting on it.
I met Sophie.
Exactly, which I think is wonderful, but it's not necessarily reciprocated in the whole of Africa. So what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that you would like to see more reporting by Africans in Africa, as opposed to leaving it to external forces. And that's what you are hoping to achieve during your visit.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the SABC?
Well, I've started.
Good. Good. And to many other houses, no doubt.
Yeah.
And when in Nigeria, who do you work for in Nigeria?
I work for, I've been practicing for quite a while. I do some things on my own, and then I manage a broadcast station called We FM.
Yeah.
Sits in the nation's capital, but pretty much done TV, and I'm in the heart of also connecting a lot of colleagues, because I'm also driven by providing training for younger journalists that are coming up, so they are able to excel and do better things than myself and my colleagues have done.
Yeah. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck during your trip here to South Africa. I hope it goes well. And thank you for giving us an honest and blatant perspective of how you are personally experiencing South Africa as being a foreigner visiting the country. But I suppose living here may be a different scenario.
Well, but then, I mean, there's just no one place that you should expect to be heaven. And there's no one place you should expect to be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Every place is a place. It's got good people, great people, bad people, people who are always trying to do the exact opposite. So, but once you get into a place, I think it's to have that mindset, and the picture gradually forms. As long as you don't keep any preconceived notions, you'd be amazed. I think I've experienced quite a lot of great South Africa.
Indeed. Jonathan Lyamgohn is a Nigerian broadcast journalist and media owner visiting the country, hoping to create some ties between some media houses and Nigeria, as well as the rest of the continent.